everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Spoiler Alert. I'm your host, Sean, and I am so excited. This update, I know we say it a lot, is massive, and this time we mean it. Now, we always mean it, but this time it's even more massive than normal. And, first of all, before we get into it, I want to introduce my, if I'm always the co-pilot, she's the driver, Alana. Welcome back to Spoiler Alert.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Yes, back. And as you said, exciting times coming to Need for Speed No Limits, this update. I don't want to get too into it just yet, but let's just say we've got some new music dropping this update. And we are also joined by, one of our favorite guests. I'm happy to admit it. Darren, we've got Darren back on the show. Welcome.
Oh, nice to be back.
Nice to have you back, Darren. And yes, we have some new music coming up. Spoiler alert, it's the name of the show. So yeah, we got that coming up. Tied to that, Darren is going to walk us through some really interesting things the players can get a hold of. But before that, we have cars, because that's what we do here at Need for Speed No Limits. So Alana, what are we starting off with?
Yes, Sean, we have the Lamborghini Countach coming to our game, another beautiful, beautiful Lamborghini. And while that comes, you can uncover mysteries and brand new factions in Blackridge. Who will rise and who will fall?
Oh, I love a good mystery. I also love a good Lamborghini Countach, so really excited to have that in the game. What else do we have? We've got some players. You're going to reconnect with an old ally and clash with the fiercest competition of the underground in the latest breakout to earn the Infiniti Q60 Red Sport 400. Then show you have what it takes to earn the powerful Mercedes-AMG A 45S in the newest Proving Grounds event. Two other really amazing cars coming to the streets.
Yes, very exciting. 3 new cars as usual. We love them, but there's more to the update. We've got some really, really cool things coming. As I mentioned, new music that is exclusive to our update. So we're really, really lucky to have First Nations rapper BARKAA coming into our game and sharing her music with us. I'll tell you a little bit about how I came across BARKAA, or how the team came across. We're looking for new music. I was trying to listen, what's some cool new up-and-coming hip-hop rap, what's something that our players are going to love and listen to. Came across this song called King Brown by BARKAA, and I think the second I heard it, I was like, this is what I've been searching for. I got out of my chair and I started dancing. It was just one of those songs that just gets you going. And I don't know how many times I listened to it the first time, but I had it on repeat, and then I pulled the lyrics up and I was like, I want to sing along to this song. It's so much fun. So yeah, after hearing it a few times, pulled the lyrics up and then actually got deeper into the song and listened to what she actually raps about. So what's really interesting in BARKAA's music is she raps a lot about the issues that are impacting First Nations people here in Australia. And she also raps a lot about women in her life. Her album, her EP that's launched is called Black Matriarchy, and that's actually also one of the songs in our game as well. And just listening to her lyrics, she raps about women in her life, supporting her, getting to where she is today, and a lot of the music in her album is a homage to those really important women in her life. So I'm just super excited to have a woman in this game sharing her music and being worldwide. So we've got 3 of her songs coming to the game. We've got King Brown, Black Matriarchy, and God. So jump in, give them a listen. And then if you are continuing to vibe to the music and you want more, jump onto her Spotify, her Apple Music, wherever you get your music, and listen to the rest of her Black Matriarchy album, because it's super, super cool. So we'll share links to those on our socials and also in our description in YouTube as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think first of all, I'd love to get some footage of you dancing to that. A lot of it's been amazing. But I agree. Yeah, her music fits perfectly. The thing about Need for Speed is, we're over 25 years of this franchise, and the soundtrack to these games has always been an integral part of what kind of makes them what they are. And to have a First Nations person from the continent of Australia and a woman to have, BARKAA as part of that long legacy is incredible. Her adding her voice to that legacy is really great. So really excited for our players to listen to that, these tracks and everything. They're in for a real treat. Tied to that, so we've got some really amazing customization for the cars that we are tying to that. And to talk a bit about that, the man who also likes to get up out of his seat and dance, Darren, How's it going?
Yeah, good. I'm going pretty well. It's nice to see everyone again. For those who haven't seen me before, my role as an artist on the Need for Speed title is quite varied. I do quite a bit of the 2D panel illustrations, character art, wrap designs for the cars, and recently I had this chance to start pushing into kit design with the new BARKAA inspired rims, which we call the Flow rims. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and these rims are really sick. These are awesome. And now, Darren, so you took inspiration from BARKAA, her music, her story, the themes of her music too, which really fit in well with Need for Speed No Limits. All about kind of, rising up to the top and then saying, hey, I'm at the top, take me down, right? So, Darren, can you maybe tell us a little bit about how that all came together?
Yeah, sure. So one of the first things I did when we found out we were doing a collab with her was put on some of her tracks, and they're all really catchy. But for me, I think the standout one, like Alana was saying, was King Brown. Just had, I don't know, it was just, those songs that you listen to that just really capture you. You're not really sure why, but it was just really awesome. It was the sort of thing that I feel like you could put on your car and repeat and just sort of just cruise to that music. So the first step was sort of getting the vibe of BARKAA in the music. And then after that, and I do this with artwork, any artwork that has an element of cultural sensitivity, was I had a chat with some people about what's acceptable and what's not when creating designs based on Indigenous First Peoples art, because it has a very sort of recognizable look, or at least some of it. What I found out was that there's actually quite a lot of different styles specific to different regions in Australia, but there are a lot of similarities that run through them as well. So you can look at it and go, well, that's really cool Aboriginal art. Because I'm not an Indigenous Australian, it's not acceptable to appropriate any of those sort of styles. So initially, I wanted to work with an Indigenous artist to figure out a design, but unfortunately, because of very tight time constraints, I wasn't able to do that. So that was an initial constraint I had to work with, designing something that pays homage to the Aboriginal culture, but not being able to appropriate the style. So I went back to the name of the track, which was King Brown, and I thought about serpents in Dreamtime stories and that, and there's quite a few that are very prominent, sort of like the rainbow serpent, which is very well known. It's seen as a kind of creator god and widely known in many regions in Australia. And I thought it was really cool because it's seen as a creator, but on the flip side of that, it can also be a destructive force when it's made angry. So then I did a bit of research into rim styles. There were some pretty nutty rim designs out there, and I thought, well, why not incorporate snakes into the spokes of the rims? So then I thought, well, in order to do that, I wanted to see different types of representations of snakes. So I looked for graphic representations, because when we look at the artwork in Need for Speed, we see the cars, they're usually a little bit ways off. You don't usually see them right up close. So it had to read well, and graphic representation sort of simplifies things down a little bit. And also partly because of technical limitations like poly count, you can't go like full on sculpted sort of look. Once I collected the references, I started sketching, and then I took it into 3D, started blocking it out, because what looks good in one angle on 2D might not necessarily look good from different angles, and obviously with our cars are all 3D. So then I had to start to block it out, find the depth of what felt balanced, and then kind of kept refining it from there. I was going for something that had a sort of geometric flow to it, but also some aggressiveness. The 5 spokes is sort of designed so that when the car's rolling forward, they look like claws, and also wanted to make them feel sort of substantial and strong. So I'll let the players decide whether I succeeded at that or not.
Yeah, we cannot wait to see these on our players' cars. And also, Darren, how many colours can our players select from?
I believe it's every colour that we've got available for rims. We obviously, I didn't want to lock people into, black or some other colour. So yeah, it's depending on what wrap you have and, what sort of colours you have. And I actually thought they looked really good in gold. So yeah.
Yeah, the gold ones are super sick, and especially with our theme of kingmaker and being a king and a god. So yeah, very, very cool. So players, you can get these exclusive rims by drifting 100,000 meters during this update.
Yeah, so super excited. I think this is the first time we've ever done like rims specifically inspired by any of our partners that we brought into Need for Speed No Limit. So really excited for players to get their hands on that. And yeah, the gold rims, it just look incredible. I love them. So super amazing. You know, that's a lot of stuff that we've got in the game. But wait, there's more. Because of course there is, right? So the other thing to keep in mind, players, is it's election time in Blackridge, and we all know how elections can be. And there's a new character who has his sights set on becoming the mayor. And I think, you know, this guy's going to have very far-reaching repercussions for the racers of Blackridge, so keep your eyes on that. Plus, we've got a new look for an existing character that'll be interesting for players to check out. We've got more flashbacks, more flashback events, more customizations, and we've got all sorts of new video content and some other surprises in our inbox. So again, massive updates.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Cannot wait to see what our players say. Let us know what you think of BARKAA's new tracks. We are super excited to get into the game ourselves and play it and see this update come to life as well. And a big thank you to Darren. Thank you for giving us some insight into what actually goes on behind designing. There's so much that I don't think about, especially when you're designing on behalf of another artist as well. So yeah, really appreciate you coming on the show and chatting with us, Darren.
No worries. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so anyway, players, get the new updates, listen to the music, get those rims, get the new cars, check out the story. So much to do, and we will see you on the starting line.